Welcome to Carlton's Math Corner. Today we're going to continue our study on writing expressions and equations. So, this is where we ended in our last video. We had 6 less than twice a number, and we decided that our unknown number is just some secret number. We don't know what it is. And so we chose n for our number that's missing. Okay, now we need to figure out what numbers or either there's one number or two numbers that are in this expression. Do you see any possibilities of a number that would be in this expression? Well, right away, the first word, 6. Yes, there's a 6 in here. What else? Actually, this word twice. What does twice mean again? Yes, two times, okay, a number. So that means that we also have the number 2 that's in here. Now we need to figure out what do we do with these numbers, okay? And what operations do you think we're using in this? Do you see some key words? Yeah, right away, less than. What operation is that? Okay, so look at the chart that you copied down hopefully in your notes from the last video, and less than means subtraction. And so we're going to be using that. And how about twice? Twice means 2 times. What's times mean? Multiplication. So we have a couple numbers that are in this one, and we have a couple operations in this one. Now, here's the rules. If you have more than one operation, like we do, you're going to start with whatever you would do first for order of operations. What would you do first in order of operations? You would do multiplication. And so let's look at the problem. And it says twice a number. And we said our number is going to be n. That's our secret number. So how could I write twice a number? And our number is n. How could I write that as an algebraic expression? Just like kind of like our last problem in the last video, we had also an expression that had times in it. And remember I said you can put the 2 next to the variable, and that represents 2 times, because they're next to each other, 2 times n, or 2 times our secret number. Okay, so that's the first one. We got multiplication done. Now, how do you do 6 less than this? 6 less than that. Okay, think of it this way. If I have 8 apples, okay, because we don't know what n is, so let's just say I have 8 apples, and I asked you to take 6 less than that. What would you do with the 8? And how many apples would you have? I hope you would say you would have 2 apples left, and in order to get the 2, you would do 8 minus 6. Why does the minus 6 have to go second? Well, if you put 6 minus 8, that is not the same answer. That's actually getting into the negatives. It's -2. But you told me that there would be 2 apples left. So minus 6 would have to come second. Well, let's say we don't know our numbers, so put an n in there. 6 would have to come second. So same thing up here. Where would the minus 6 go? Would it go before the 2n or go after it? Exactly. It would go after it. And so we're going to do minus 6, and I'm going to move this up so that you can actually see it. So we have twice a number, and I'm going to get rid of the apple piece because that was just an example to jog your brain and figure out where did the minus 6 go. So going back to this problem, twice a number, so here's twice a number, 2 times n, and then 6 less than that. So that means minus 6 from it. So this right here, 2n minus 6, is my final expression, algebraic expression. So let's do another one. 5 times the sum of 6 and a number. Okay? Now, this one I would love for you to pay close attention to because it's got the word sum in it. And remember, earlier in the first video, I said I kind of went over again, reviewed it with you. What does sum mean? Sum is the answer to an addition problem. And I want to stress it's an answer. Now, whenever you are working with the answer to something, what I am going to stress is that we do this first. Okay, we need to find the answer to whatever we are adding together first. Then we can do the rest of this problem. Okay, now in order of operations, what is the first thing you have to do? What's the first operation that you have to do? Parentheses. You're absolutely right. Parentheses. So, in order for me to find the answer, I'm going to actually put parentheses around it because I want to find the answer to this addition problem first. So, before I do that, let's kind of make a note to ourselves. So, first of all, we know that there's something missing. We have a number, and I'm just going to call it n again because n for number, okay? We know that it's going to have addition in it. And do you see anything else? Any other operations? Yes, the word times. Times means, again, multiplication. How about what are the numbers in this problem? Yep, we have a 5 and we have a 6. Now, with that said, we need to basically figure out how to put all these together. And we also have the word sum, which means answer. Okay? And so somehow we need to use a set of parentheses in our problem as well, just to show the answer to a problem, and that we want to do that first. And so let's start off, let's do the parentheses first. What do you think, what problem do you think would be inside the parentheses after reading this? It says 5 times the sum, and look at this key word, of 6 and a number. Which numbers do you think that we're going to add to find the answer to? Yes, the number 6, and you see the word and our secret number. So we're going to put plus n, and I'm going to put parentheses around it again so that I stop it. So we're going to do this first. We're going to find the sum of it, find the answer to it. And then after we find that, then we can do the rest of it. How do I squeeze in the 5 and the multiplication symbol? Well, I could do times 5, but remember the x we don't want. No x's, because x's in algebra basically means, it's a secret number. And we don't have 2 secret numbers. We have actually 1, and I know this says s at the end, but it says a number. It should say a number. Let me take that off. And so we need to get rid of this. And so let's figure out how else could we say this. What's another way? Okay, we could go like this. Kind of use our knowledge from before. Remember I said you can actually just put the number next to a letter, or a variable, I mean, and that means times. Well, same thing with parentheses. I can put a number right next to it, and it means times. Now, is there another way though to write this? Yeah, actually I could put the number first, and putting it first actually kind of follows the order in which the phrase is written. It says 5 times the sum. So this actually shows 5 times, because it's right next to the parentheses, the sum, meaning we're adding inside the parentheses to find the answer to an addition problem, 6 and a number. And so we used n for that secret number. Okay, let's look at another one. Twice the difference. Twice the difference of a number and 3. Okay, so let's start off with our secret number. We'll just use n again. Secret number, and what numbers are we using? Well, twice again, that means 2 times. So we have the number 2. And we have a number 3 over here. Do you see that 3? So we have a number 3. Then what operations do you notice? Well, we have the word difference. What does difference mean? Oh my gosh, again, the answer. But this time it's not to an addition problem. It's to what? A subtraction problem. Okay, so that means that we are going to do that first. We're going to try to figure out the answer to that subtraction problem. We want to do that first. Then we can worry about the twice the difference. Okay, so we are going to have, again, parentheses. I'm going to tell you right now that whenever you see the word sum or difference, those two must have parentheses around them. And the reason for that is because usually addition and subtraction are last in order of operations. But in this case, we actually want them to be first in order of operations. And so that's why we put parentheses around them, because we're trying to find the answer first, and then we can take twice that, 2 times that amount, okay, or 5 times the amount up in this number 2, okay? And so parentheses go around any problem that has sum in it or difference in it. Now, product and quotient, we really don't need to put parentheses around it because they would come first anyways before adding and subtracting. And so we don't need to worry about that. So what operations? Well, subtraction, because we just talked about that one. And then what does twice mean? 2 times. So I'm going to use times. So we need to set this up. So let's do the parentheses first. Which numbers would go in the middle? Well, if you look at the word difference, and the key word is of, follow it. It says a number. Well, that's our secret number. We don't know what it is, so we're going to use n and 3. So we're finding the difference of n and 3. Remember, difference means subtraction, so we're going to do n minus 3. And then times 2, because we're doing twice that amount, which is the same as times 2. Now remember though, in algebra we don't want to write it with an x in it, and so we could write it like this, or if we are following the phrase, it actually starts with twice first, so it puts the 2 in front. And I will tell you, usually in algebra you see a 2 in front of the parentheses. Okay. What I would like for you to do is actually the following problems. I would only like you to do these 2 problems for tomorrow. Please try them, and then we'll come back and talk about them. Thank you so much for joining me at Carlton's Math Corner, and I look forward to meeting with you shortly.